Hello, everyone. First of all, if you haven't seen the top 10 healers of January 2018, you should go do that. The link's in the description. Um, and if you have, here we are. So yeah, this is basically just the explanation video, my thought process that went into these characters, this list. Also, I do want to say that the story I told at the end, if you didn't stick to the end, you should go watch like the last 5 seconds of it. That story is true. That's why it's so late right now. It's like 11:26 p.m. But yeah, let's get started with the list, shall we? At number 10 was Orihime. This one was actually pretty tough because there were so many other healers that were just as useless. I mean, not useless because obviously they're healers and they're useful for healing, but there were so many other healers that weren't great, such as OG Retsu and the Valentine's characters, the Valentine's crew. The reason I picked this one was because her soul trait was boosted. That's really it. I guess Retsu could have taken her place because she's ranged and would have been better for combat, but you know, at that point, you would have this character for the soul trait and for the healing alone, not just because the character's good, because the Valentine's Day characters, her and Retsu, they're not great. But yeah, that was her. Ulquiorra was another story. Ulquiorra's the only one on this list who isn't who isn't a team healer. But he's still a really good character. Like those stats, well, they're not as high as some of the recent ones. They're still really good. He's got DR. He's got the same DR. Like he's got the same build kind of as Retsu. In fact, I think he might have a higher defense. Yeah, I think his defense is a little bit higher by 2 points, but still, like, he's still really good. The only reason people don't use him anymore at all really is because he's not a team healer. But for solo raids, this is a good option, guys. It's a really good option. It's got Frenzy. Dude's got Frenzy. But yeah, really the only reason he didn't make it higher is because he isn't a team healer, which is a real shame because that would have been great. Next we have Nanao. She's really good SP, really good soul trait for this kind of thing for a healer, and for her, really, it's the only reason she didn't make it higher is because her healing move doesn't do damage, which is a real shame and a waste of a strong attack too. Not really a waste because you do use it for healing, but it's still kind of hurts the position she's in. But like as far as support goes, she's really good. Her strong attack 1 like keeps her enemies from getting close to her, and on the off chance they do get close to her, strong attack 2 hurts them and lets her get away. So she's actually built pretty good for support. But it's the healing that we were focused on, and it doesn't do damage. And we're not just basing it off of the character itself, the healing character. We're not just basing it off the healing aspect. We're also basing it off the character. Because even though she's a healer and she's a healer, I would still much rather have Nanao because I would spend less time having to heal myself than if I had Orihime, if that makes sense. And that plays a big part of the healers. That's why as the characters keep going, some of them are, they get really stronger. As is the case with Tsukishima here, this one was actually tough because I actually switched the order. Tsukishima was originally supposed to be number 5, and I switched him to number 7 because of Nemu's and Isane's soul traits, which I'll get to here in just a second. But Tsukishima, in my opinion, is better than those two. Damage-wise and power-wise, he's better than those two. However, when we're talking about healing, Nemu and Isane take the better place in the list. Tsukishima almost won him out just because of his soul trait. His soul trait plays so well with his healing move, and his healing move does a lot of damage. But in the end, there were certain stuff that, Nemu and Isane just did a little bit better. And that's the soul trait. Here, let's do this because these two characters are actually very similar. Look at the stats. All right, the Nemu stats, like her attack is like what 10 points higher, defense is the same, her SP is 4 points higher. The only reason she made it low on the list is literally because of, there's 2 reasons. It's one because of her stamina recovery link was not boosted, And two, and this is probably the main reason, is because she wasn't ranged. And when it comes to healing, ranged characters just a little bit better. But still, I still think Nemu is the better character overall. But when it comes to healing, then now, I mean not now, Isana is probably the better one to have. Just because it's ranged. Like even her killer, like Nemu's killer, is more like useful than hers because it's Soul Reaper versus Hollow. Soul Reaper and Arrancar killers are the best killers in the game, followed by Hollows, and then nothing else. There's no other killer, but yeah. So that's why they went there. It's here's the thing with their soul traits. Here's the reason I soul trait's such a big deal. And soul trait played a big deal for these characters altogether. For example, hers is 20, hers is 25. If a character is in the middle of a mission and they're about to get killed, or they get half health. Let's say half health for an example, and they're the only ones that need healing. I mean, you could waste a thing on you, or you can just wait to get to the next area and heal 40% if you have a Hojikusai and you're fine. And I find that a lot of the cases when I play the game, that happens to me. I'm like, oh, I'm the only one who needs healing. I'm playing the role of a healer. I'm just gonna wait it out, go to do damage from a distance with other strong attacks, go to the next one, and then do it that way. And in that area, that's why I put these two above Tsukishima. But it was really close. Okay, so Retsu here. Is there? Oh, okay, never mind. There was gonna be 3 Retsus on this list. Retsu has probably like the closest balance in stats I've seen in the game. Obviously, her build is meant for support. She's a healer, does damage, which is nice. She inflicts paralysis. She's ranged. She's got the best soul trait a healer can have. She's stacked. She's good. Honestly, the only reason she didn't go higher, and I mean, there's not a lot of other higher you can get. She said it was a number 4. The only reason she didn't go past that is because her stats. Like, they're good, but they're not great. And at this point, she can, I would even say she could deal with, like, the lowest level of Inheritance Zone, maybe? I don't know. But, like, her stats aren't great. And you could still take her in, like, Extreme Co-op and Inheritance Zone and everything, but you gotta be extra careful not to get yourself killed. And it's that same kind of situation of you don't want to be the one needing to be healed. You want to be a healer, which is why these 3 came out on top, because these 3 are the only ones that are still very top tier. I mean, look at their attacks. I mean, obviously we know this Retsu has the highest attack in the game right now, but even these 2 have like ridiculously high attacks. Him getting even stronger with a 25 boosted trait. This one kind of I couldn't tell. I didn't know where I wanted to put him, just because his soul trait having to wait 40 seconds instead of 30 because it's a boost move. But I ended up putting him in 3rd because I realized, oh, it heals the party, but it also gives them 30% more defense, which kind of makes up for the extra 10 seconds, and you can just equip like Renji in there and make his time reduction a little less. So it's not that big of a deal. And, everybody gets a boost, their defense gets boosted and everything else. So, yeah. Ururu was close to being number 1. Because having strong attack recharge as a healer is amazing. And that's what she has. The only thing is we can't really make a strong attack recharge. I mean, I guess you can make a strong attack recharge / attack build on her. You'd have to sacrifice one for the other. But it's still really good. If you wanted to go the healer route for her, you absolutely could. Just boost her attack with accessories and boost her recharge time with the links. And you'd have a really good character who's also ranged, which is very important. Both of these characters are ranged. And yeah, she actually almost made it to number 1. But man, you just can't beat what this one has. Like, damage reduction is the 2nd best thing you can have as a healer. She absolutely has it. Her defense pretty good. Like, if you take a look at all the lists, this is above average. It's not, Noitora level. It's not even the level below Noitora, but it's like below that. So it's above average. But yeah, you just can't beat what she has. Damage reduction, highest attack in the game, flurry, poise. Um, she's a healer, obviously she's on the list, but she's also, you know, she's got like a last resort kind of heal in her special. It's the 60 extra, 60% extra health. Most people equip a Hojukusai on her, so that's like 120. It's full health. She's like a double healer, so obviously she's gonna be at number 1. She's gonna need the healing the less, at least from what I've got on co-op. Every time I use her, she's the one that needs the healing the less amount of times, and when I heal the team, I get healed anyway. So it's like, it's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I think we all knew she was gonna be number 1. Everybody who watched the list probably was like, oh, Retsu's gonna be number 1. Retsu's gonna be number 1. I should have thrown people off, put like OG Retsu as number 1, and then cut it halfway or something. But yeah, that's it for this video. Not a lot of really to explain in this. Really, the major ones I kind of wanted to explain were, or give my reasoning was, oh look, the little black thingy moves, cool. Anyway, was Tsukishima, Nemu, and Asane, why that order was like that. Or Hime, why she ended up beating out some of the other characters that were on this list, or that could have been on this list. She's really the only one, like, if we could just get another healer so I don't have to put her in here. But we'll see what happens with the lieutenants. And then Xayalopporo and Retsu. But because this order switched once too, but Xayalopporo is clearly the better chance just because he's the one least likely to die in a raid. But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.